Welcome to the It Ain't Wrong to Be Strong podcast series brought to you by RamFit Athleisure. My name is Rob James. I'm the host of the series. I'm also the CTO and founder of RamFit Athleisure. We're a constant reminder to stop drifting from one distraction to the next and start living with definiteness of purpose. We're a constant reminder that giving up, giving in, and taking a backward step is never an option. Now, that should be your mindset when you're out there chasing after your own hopes, dreams, goals, and ambitions, because nobody's coming to save you and nobody cares. It's on you to make shit happen and get shit done. RamFit Athleisure is a mindset, an attitude, and a code of living. In today's episode, I want to talk about friendship. And we all know what that is. We've all got friends. We all hang out with people. We go camping and fishing, partying. We go have a few drinks with people. We hang out. We share problems. We train with people. We give advice, we take advice, we all have friendships and we know what they are. But it's very important that we know who to surround ourselves with and the right kinds of people that we should be inviting into our circle of five. But I want to go into something that Aristotle brought up. And if you don't know who Aristotle is, he was a Greek philosopher. And he spoke about friendships. And you've got to remember these ancient Stoics, they didn't just share an opinion. And this is why people get, I think, offended a lot by Stoics when they share, wisdom and they talk about human nature and stuff, because it is exactly what that is. It's human nature. It's studying how humans behave without thinking. And it's a generalization, I get it, but it is human nature. And not many people have control over that subconscious level that, we can go into that into another podcast episode, but not many people have control over that part of them, their darkness and the way that they operate and move. And so they do things out of instinct. And this is where Stoicism comes in, because it's wisdom from studying human nature. So Aristotle is one of those people. And I'll just share with you a little passage that he wrote, and it goes like this. When men are friends, they have no need of justice, while when they are just, they need friendship as well, and the truest form of justice is thought to be a friendly quality. So he goes into the three kinds of friendships that there are, and the third one is the kinds of friendship, or the kind of friendship that you want when it comes to inviting people into your circle of five, and we'll get to that in a few minutes. But the first one is a friendship of utility. And this is an interesting one because we all know what this is. And that is basically where they are friendships based on what someone can do for you or what you can do for them. And I don't like those kinds of friendship. I wouldn't even call them friendships because they're transactional relationships. They're transactional connections. And I've experienced a lot of friendships of utility when it comes to building RamFit. And there's a lot of people out there who, g'day bro, are you doing well? Love your merchandise, love your apparel, love your website. And you ask them what did they love about it, and they can't tell you because they haven't looked. They're transactional, they're after something. They're trying to buddy you up with flattery and all that kind of shit. And, that's when you can spot these transactional types. But basically the friendship of utility is where you're surrounded with people, or you're connected to people who only want you when it suits them, and who only want you when you can do something for them and you can further their own cause. And as I said, I don't call them friendships, I call them connections. And these people you definitely want to keep at arm's length, because if you invite them into your circle and you invest too much time and energy into them and you're not thinking, then when they drop you like a hot potato, you're going to be disappointed. And you'll be disappointed in yourself because you didn't make better judgments. And as I always say, it's not about judging people less. It's about making better judgments in people so that you can gather more and better intelligence. So we'll go into that in another podcast episode as well. But they're just connections. They're just transactional connections. And people want you something so that you might be the missing piece of their puzzle. You might have something that they want, that they can get from you that will help them. And trust me, they will drop you as soon as they get that from you. So be very cautious of friendships of utility, because they're only there for one reason, how you can help them and their cause, and that's it. So treat them as such and keep them at arm's length. The second one, and I think this is where men get, they start drifting and they lose sight of their purpose, and they go down this path and they lose control basically, and that's dangerous. And it's called a friendship of pleasure. And these are the kinds of friendships that are based on enjoyment and a shared activity or a pursuit of fleeting pleasures and emotions and things like that. So it's not that, they're not bad people. Transactional people are not bad people. It's just that you've got to be very cautious of them. You've got to be very wary of them. You've got to have your guard up around them, and you've got to be able to make judgments and see that they are these kinds of people. People who you hang out with for pleasure are not bad people. So friendships of pleasure are not bad. It just means that you need to have them under control. You need to understand that these people only like you because of your drugs. These people only like you because you go drinking with them. These people only like you because you go and hang out with them at the nightclubs or sporting events or whatever it is that you go to, gambling, whatever it is. And because it feels so good, we tend to keep doing it. And we do more and more and more, and before we know it, we've lost control. And then we've spent so much time drifting, that's when we become miserable, cynical, depressed, anxious, and we check out our life and we blame everybody else, and this circle of negativity starts happening, right? So it's not a bad thing. Friendships of pleasure is where you go out with each other and you hang out and you have a few drinks. You go to shared interests, like I said, live sporting events. It's not a bad thing. You go out there to unwind and de-stress and to stop thinking about, what you've been thinking about for the last month constantly. So it's kind of like a reset. So as I said, it's not a bad thing, and they're not bad people. It just means that you need to have control over what you're doing, and that the fact that if you lose control, you can go down a path of destruction, and it can happen very quickly. And all you have to do is ask people who would go down that path of drugs and drinking and partying is, they learn a lot of very valuable lessons in life, where they learn that these people are very shallow. They don't lack depth. And again, it's not that they're bad people. It's just that that particular time they're drifting and they don't know who they are, what they want, or where they're going, and you're hanging out with them, so you become the same kinds of person. You need to just have a lot of control over what you're doing and understand that, hey, this is just something I do once a month, and have a little bit of class when it comes to going out and partying with these people and drinking. Leave early. Be the first one to leave, because it shows that you have strength over your emotions and your pleasures, and that you have total self-awareness and self-control. So don't hang around and, party all night. If that's what you want to do it. But just have a little bit of control. Be the first one to leave. And I make a point of it of not having a big night. Because alcohol it's an Arabic word, and it means body eating spirit. So I don't drink a lot. I drink rarely. And if I do, I have 1 or 2 glasses of whiskey over about a period of 4 or 5 hours, but I stay under control. And if I'm out with people that are based on a friendship of utility or pleasure, then I'm very cautious of what I tell them and what I say, because those kinds of things and hanging out with those kinds of people, and when you say those kinds of things to them, it can be used against you, and it can be used as like a leverage to get what they want out of you. But anyway, it's just, the whole idea is to just have a lot of control over what you're doing with these kinds of people, and when you do it and who you do it with. And that is the friendship of pleasure. So we go into the third one, which is the most important one of all, and it's a friendship of virtue. And it's when you hang out with people who like you for who you are, not what you can do with them, not the fact that you go out drinking with them. They like you for who you are. And what I mean by that is they know that you have integrity. They know that you have a code of living. They know that you won't throw them under a bus when their values, principles, or when your values, principles, and standards are challenged. And you have strength and depth of character. And that is one of the most important things that you can judge somebody on. And like I said earlier, it's not about having less judgment, because if you have less judgment, you're just stupid. It's about making the right judgments. It's making the right judgments in people, and you judge people on their strength and depth of character. Because if you don't judge people on their strength and depth of character, they will throw you under a bus when their values, principles, and standards are challenged. And we saw what happened during the pandemic. This whole COVID bullshit where neighbours were dobbing on each other, neighbours were throwing each other under a bus. Family didn't invite family to barbecues at Christmas time because some idiot like David Koch on Sunrise said not to do it. And people hid and were scared of something that, who knows? It probably wasn't even there. I'm unvaccinated and I'm not scared to say it, and I'm proud to say that I stood with integrity during the whole pandemic. But there are people out there who didn't. They lived in heightened fear and anxiety. And as soon as the government said this, they did it, and they violated their own code of living. In other words, they didn't have one. So they threw each other under the bus. Bad kinds of people, the terrible kinds of people to surround yourself with. They are probably friends in the first two categories, believe it or not. Because if they were friendships of virtue, they wouldn't have thrown you under a bus during COVID. It's pretty simple. People who have integrity, who have values, principles, and standards, and who stand by them, even under mental pressure, they're the kinds of people you want to surround yourself with. And they are the kinds of people that you want to invite into your circle of five. It's very important. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you like what I'm talking about, please take the time to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Get it out there. Engage with us. That's very important. A like and a comment. I'm all over Facebook and Instagram as well. But I'm kind of off those kinds of platforms at the moment because I find that the people I've surrounded myself with, who I have connected with on Facebook, actually don't really do a lot. They're not really helping me at all. So I'm kind of off Facebook a bit. Instagram's kind of, I don't know, it's not too bad, but the point I'm making is we're probably going to be more active, not probably, we will be more active on YouTube, which is why I'm pushing the YouTube channel in 2025. And also TikTok. As much as I hate being on TikTok, we will be there in 2025. And so by all means, please follow us, engage with us. It's very important that you like and drop a comment. Even if you don't disagree with something, I'm not going to block you. If you're kind and if you're, you're doing it in a way that you want to engage maturely in a conversation, I'm happy to do it. So if you disagree with what I'm saying, by all means, drop a comment. But the important thing is that we engage together and you follow what we're doing and you check out, what we're all about and you share it and you subscribe. And you can find us anywhere with the username WeAreRamFit. Now, when it comes to Twitter, I will be on Twitter at Mr_RMFT. So it's, I think it's capital M, little r, _RMFT, all in uppercase, something like that. But anyway, it's my personal account, so I'll be sharing wisdom there and just stuff that that you carry on with on Twitter. So don't get too offended by it. It is my personal view, but not necessarily the views of RamFit Athleisure. It's me as the founder. So yeah, by all means, engage there. But I really want to push traffic to and our followers and our engagements to the YouTube channel and to TikTok as well. So please, guys, help us out in 2025. We want to build a 1,000,000-man army, a force to be reckoned with, where we make a stand against the system that is trying to neutralize masculinity, and it's happening all over the place. And I'm out here doing my bit. So I appreciate your support. I appreciate your support over the last, it's been 4 years where I've learned a lot of valuable lessons when it comes to podcasting. And here we are in 2025 when we're ready to make it big. We're ready to go. So help us out, and you will be part of the 1,000,000-man army. And if you're right there, guys, I'm going to invite you into the inner circle, which is the Aries leadership experience. And we've got it's a signal group going as well. But anyway, we'll talk about that more in another episode. I'm waffling at the moment. Thank you very much for listening to the It Ain't Wrong to Be Strong podcast series and supporting us over the last 4 years. I really appreciate it, but please continue to support us on YouTube and TikTok mainly. And you can find us at We Are RamFit. Thanks for listening, and I will check in with you next time on the It Ain't Wrong to Be Strong podcast series brought to you by RamFit Athleisure.